It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
So folks, you want to, further your education, you want to do something worthwhile, you figured, well, I have a talent, what could I do? Whether you're a high school, whether you're a college graduate, or whether you're not even a college graduate, no matter what age you are, we have an opportunity for you on the it's the technical scholarship that the Greater Hazleton Civic Partnership gives out each year. And it's interesting because there's a lot of things that you could be doing. Some people feel that, well, they want to further their education. They don't know what to do. Now we have a great opportunity for you. And today we have John Madden, who is the chair of the committee, and Bob Skulsky, who is the director of the Civic Partnership, to tell us about this partnership. It's an opportunity for you to really advance and do with something that you like to do. It's a technical partnership, right, John?
Absolutely.
Since 2001, you've given out 27 scholarships. Tell me about the uniqueness of this scholarship, because it's very interesting. Every year we talk about it, and it's amazing to me that how a person could really get involved.
Well, it's in response to a well-identified need in Hazleton. Remember, John Zogby in about 2000 did a survey for directions for Hazleton, where we should be going. Two of his recommendations were rails to trails, and the scholarship was another. It turned out about the same time, Jack St. Pierre, who I think you know him.
Oh, very well.
Had a plastics company, and he could not find industrial maintenance technicians to save his soul. I mean, he's not the only person who couldn't find those technically trained people. So you have kind of a paradox where you have a place where you got high unemployment, low incomes, and here you have high income jobs which can't be filled. And this scholarship is aimed to get right at that, to help students, encourage them to go into technical fields where there are jobs which pay well, and also to try to encourage them to stay in the area once they completed their education. Mm-hmm. One of the problems we have is that when students do study technical fields from this area, they can't wait to get out of town. And I got to say, the things, I was in New York at the time, my kids were in college, and they couldn't wait to get out of town either. They left New York in a big hurry. Mm-hmm. So it's not just Hazleton, or it's small towns in Pennsylvania. But this scholarship requires that students, once they finish their studies, return here and work in the area at least 3 years. Our hope is they'll put down roots and they'll stay in this area and be productive citizens here.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, about leaving the area. I found this quite interesting when I was doing some work in Santa Barbara with our Sam Lesante Show and our productions. I brought my kids with me, Sammy and Janine, and we worked in Santa Barbara to do this production. And I was thinking of opening up a West Coast Samson Productions in California because of Jack Palance, my affiliation with Jack. And we were able to see, what the town was all about, and I'm not putting Santa Barbara down, but the people. And I think my kids were in college at the time, I'm not sure. But anyway, they got a taste of what it is to be out of town. Now you're talking about a town like Santa Barbara, L.A. You think everything is hunky-dory. Well, after 3-4 weeks, of us doing some things, and here again, it's a different lifestyle, etc. They couldn't wait to come back, okay, and into their own hometown, and that's why I think Janine and Sammy are so strong in supporting what's happening in the Greater Hazleton area because it's our hometown. I think we have a lot to offer in this town, John, that some people don't really look at. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, when you were at Penn State, you saw a lot of that stuff, didn't you?
I did.
And we see that right now. We see people, their children move away after they get their education, work for a year or two, and now they're back in our area. And these are the people that we'd like to get initially, because a lot of them will end up coming back. They think the grass is greener, but they don't realize the hometown they grew up in was really a nice place.
Yeah, and you find that now. Of course, there are some jobs that we can't fill. The people who have the certain talents. But when you have an opportunity like this. To apply and to further your technical and I think it's needed. You are right. There are a lot of people in this area, plants or companies that are looking for these technical people. Bob, before we talk about the criteria here, okay, and this is for any age, right? Any age?
Any age, yes.
In fact, it's really worth pointing out, this is well designed also for somebody who's an adult student who's in the workplace, who wants to move up, who wants a better job, a better career than the one they have. This is very well suited for that.
I think it's a great opportunity. Now, before I get to this, rails and trails, okay? I know we're going to do this, but just so our viewers know, tell me a little bit about rails and trails.
Well, just to start out with the Civic Partnership, a little bit about the Civic Partnership. Two of our major projects right now is the Rails to Trails and a scholarship program. But, we have many others. We have the Black Creek Township alumni. We've done a lot of work with the schools. When Dr. Madden was chancellor at Penn State, we put in a original camera system that overlooks the valley on WBRE, weather forecasts, etc. So, the Civic Partnership does a lot. But with the Rails to Trails right now, that's our #1 project. And there's just a lot of things going on with it. We're ready to open up the 2 miles this year of extension to it, which is going to give us a total of 6 miles on the ground. Eventually, we're going to have the 16 miles connecting up with the Delaware Lehigh National Heritage Trail, which is a 165-mile trail going from New Hope down in the Philadelphia area up to Wilkes-Barre, tracing the flow of anthracite coal from the mines down to, to the marketplace and helping fuel the Industrial Revolution. But, I like to talk about the volunteers. We have well over 250 volunteers for our various different projects. Now, some of them are active. They're actually out there shoveling dirt, if you will, or going, soliciting funding and doing things like that. And we have others that, will donate to us or donate their expertise. Engineers, we need engineering work. So it says a lot about our area. We have a lot of people that want to better our area. And, the mission of the Civic Partnership is to make the greater Hazleton area best place to live, learn, work, worship, and play. And, we work towards that end every day. And with the Scholarship Committee this year, we just brought on 2 new scholarship board members. And we have Attorney Michael Sharkey, who has come on board to help us out. And we also have Carl Leitner. Carl Leitner is one of our graduates of our program.
And he can attest to what he went through.
Yeah, he's a professional engineer now for Barry ISET, and he was part of our program.
And you were talking about volunteers. Before the show, we're talking about coal contractors, Atlantic Coal, which is fascinating what they're doing. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing with anthracite. Not like the old days, but reclaiming the land and the value of anthracite. And you said the same thing that we discussed. It's too precious to burn, into the anthracite. But they've been very cooperative with Rails.
They've been very cooperative. Yeah. If it was not for coal contractors back about 2.5 years ago, we were facing a loss of close to $1 million in grant money to complete that phase 2, which is the bridge and a lot of other work. Coal contractors came in and they moved 32 Ukes truckloads of fill to backfill an area for us, and all their equipment and all their time and energy. The work was worth over $100,000, and the grants we get typically are 50-50 grants. So we'll get 50% from maybe DCNR or the federal government, but we got to match that with 50% local funding. And for a group our size to raise that kind of funding, it's very difficult. So we need corporate sponsors like coal contractors to come in and help us out.
The great thing about what's happening with Civic Partnership as Rails and Trails is the fact that it's such a positive thing for our community. It's such a positive thing for the area. Folks, I'm talking to John Madden. You all remember him from Penn State. He is the chair of the committee for the Civic Partnership, and Bob Skulsky, who's the director, but he's involved with so much stuff. Now, about criteria about this program, we come back, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how they have the point average, etc. But remember, this is for anybody. No matter what age you are, this is for anybody. Phone number to call to get information on anything that they're doing, 570-455-1509. Before I go to break, we have a tremendous amount of talent here in people who have worked that could lend a lot of information to, like you, John, the experience you had involved, like you, when you retired, you got involved. There's many people like you out there that I wish would get involved because they could share so much of their talents,
And that's one of our problems right now is we have a lot of people in our age group that are volunteering, but we got to get the young people, and we got to get more young people involved. And I know they have their families and to take care of, etc. But
just a little bit that they can, like the school board, which I think is doing a great job. But there are some people who have been in education many, many years who are retired now, okay? And they went through a lot in education. I think, as an advisory board, they could really offer a lot of help, to, because us old guys sometimes have a lot of information. Now, speak for you guys, not for me. I'll be right back after this break, folks. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, you can watch all of our programs that Samson Productions, SSP TV produce on ssptv.com. My email is sam@ssptv.com. So you want to further your education. If you have a job now and you want to go further up the ladder, there's an opportunity here. The Civic Partnership has a scholarship program that is fabulous. And since 2001, they've had they've offered 27 scholarships. Now, I have Dr. Madden, who is chair of the committee, and Bob Skulsky, who is director of Civic Partnership. So what would be some of the criteria? Remember, we're talking all ages here. It doesn't make any difference. What are some of the criteria that we need to get involved with this?
The only criterion is what kind of program they're going to study in. What are they going to prepare for? And there's a wide variety of kinds of careers they can be preparing for. A wide variety of technical occupations, including a non-credit program in industrial maintenance technology, for example, that has been offered at LCCC. It's been offered at Penn State. I think it's offered at McCann right now. But doesn't lead directly towards a college degree, but it's training that prepares you for a technical job in industry and is very much needed. In fact, that's the job that Jack St. Pierre couldn't fill at his plastics plant. Ranging from that to baccalaureate engineering students. So we have students who have graduated with four-year degrees. In fact, the one that Bob just mentioned, Carl Leitner, who graduated with four-year engineering degrees. Wide variety of technical careers and levels of technical careers. Also, we've included medical technologies and nursing as also careers that are very much needed in this area, and that we will sponsor those with this scholarship.
So if I'm interested in becoming a nurse, or if I want to go into it, but it has to be technical, okay?
You could be a radiographic technician. You could be an X-ray technician.
And
you could be a med lab technician.
All right. So what would be if I apply? Do I have to have a certain average? Well, let's say I'm a senior out here, or not a senior, but I graduated from college and I'm not working right now, or I didn't graduate from college. Okay.
Right. You haven't gone to college at all.
I haven't gone to college at all. Okay, but I feel I have some worth and I want to be able to do something. And in the technical, whether it's a nurse, whether it's, like you said, any technical job, and you have an opportunity of giving me a scholarship to go to a facility, but I have to come back and work here. That for 3 years after. We understand that. What would be my? So
you apply and get accepted to an academic program somewhere, to a program at an accredited institution.
Okay.
The institution has to be accredited.
Right.
Because there's some kind of paper institutions out there.
Yes.
But that lines up with one of these career goals. And when you're accepted, you're eligible to apply. Now, once you get into the program, you have to maintain a 2.75 grade average in the program. If not, you have to refund the scholarship. So you got to keep your grades up once you get in the program. But there's no requirement for your performance in high school. You get admitted to a program that will take you, that prepares you for these careers, and you're eligible to apply for the scholarship.
Okay, so I apply and I get accepted. Mm-hmm. Then I call you?
Yes.
And see if I qualify for the scholarship?
Yes.
Okay. Can I call you first and say, I'm looking to do this? Could you give me advice, Bob, in saying, I want to become a radiologist, or I want to, or technical, whatever it may be, and then say, will this apply for a scholarship if I apply for a higher institution?
We've answered that question.
Sure.
Yeah.
We do get calls like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but before I get involved with it, I would like to know whether I would qualify. Then you would tell me, well, Sam, if you register in the school for this particular thing and you get accepted, then you have an opportunity of qualifying for the scholarship. Mm-hmm. Well, how many give out a year?
We've given between 1 and 3 a year, depending on the available funding.
Okay.
which is also a big issue. It's tough to get people to support this too.
You know, but I would think, you know, like let's assume I need producers here, I need camera operators, etc., and I can't get them. Okay, and you know, there's a demand. Okay, now with this all high tech, we have HD now. Okay, which is, you know, way beyond what I am. But I mean, you see these cameras are all high tech. However, if I'm looking for someone, I may say, John, look, I'm willing to contribute, you know, a couple $1,000s a year to Civic Partnership because I need people like this, okay?
Well, we've had 2 firms, in fact, that have supported us in the past, was specifically looking to fill positions in their firm.
Yeah.
And one actually hired the person they sent through. They paid for the person. In fact, they took over the scholarship for us in the 2nd year. And that person completed the studies and is now still working at Cargill. Hershey worked with us also, looking to develop people for their technical force. I don't think we haven't definitely got somebody through the program for them, but they're actually tracking a particular individual, and we'll work with a firm to do that. So yeah,
I think that would be great for any firm who is looking to fill a position. Okay, they're willing to invest. I mean, we'd be willing to invest if we could not get a person at least to move into the area, or someone in our area that can advance.
We'll work with an employer. We'll do that.
I think that would be great.
And we've had other firms have done it just to be good citizens.
I was going to say, there are a lot of people out there that, you know, I say this on a lot of my shows when I had Ron and McDonald House or the United Way or whatever. I think there are a lot of people that want to help. God's given them some great talents, as I said, and great resources, and they want to help. But sometimes they want to make sure when they do help, it's going to a right cause. You know, like I give to the Salvation Army, I give to the food pantries, because you know it's going to be, you know, feeding people, etc. There are people out there that you would accept donations just to further, you know, your scholarship program, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're looking for them all the time.
Yeah. So, Bob, you wouldn't turn down a person who says, "Look, I want to give you $1,000 towards a Civic Partnership."
No, we have never in the past. We have never in the past, and we don't plan to in the future. I mean, that's how our scholarship program is. Yeah, that's the only way that we could fund it. Is,
you know, if we need to do a show again, you know, I'd like to have some of the people that went through this program, the scholarship program. Like you said, you had Carl who came on. Be interesting to see what he was thinking, and then how the scholarship program helped him, you know, in his career. Okay, now he's on your board, right? Which is fabulous. But you have some scoring points here, okay? What is this? Application will be served using the following point system. Okay, what does this mean?
It's just to give students who are applying an idea of what we're going to be looking at, give them a feel for how we're going to score it, their application. So what should they invest their energy in? What are we going to be looking for?
So here again, I think it would be important, you know, for me to call you and say, look, I'm applying for this, and then you can go over this point system, okay? Because I don't want to make it too complicated. But it's very relatively easy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The committee actually, we look over students' applications, we meet with them, we interview them, and afterwards we get together, the committee gets together, and we vote right then and there on who's going to be awarded the scholarship. And it's announced at the Chamber Academic Awards dinner. That's when the winner's announced.
So we're looking at industrial maintenance technician, manufacturing technology, electronics technology, computer technology, very big, industrial technology, medical technologies, including nurses, okay? This is a typical 1 or 2 year certification and degree program.
Could be a certification program, could be a degree program, could be an associate degree, could be a baccalaureate degree. Just so long as it tracks for one of those, or related occupations. That's to give an illustration of the kinds of occupations we're looking for.
Yeah, and one of the points I'd like to make is a lot of those particular fields are served up at Tobian Army Depot. Yeah. So we did make an exception back about 6 years ago, John, to allow people that work or live in our area and work at Tobian Army Depot to apply for the scholarship. So that's an important thing, because it's a large employer in our area, and we do allow anybody that, and to my best of my knowledge, the last I've checked, there's probably close to 500 people, families in our area that work up at Tobian Army Depot.
Yeah, it's around that number.
There's a lot of people, I think, out there that, you know, would like to move on. I mean, because when they get into these specific jobs, you're talking anywhere from $25,000 to $70,000 salaries per year. I mean, that they could fall into some good programs. So I'm talking to John Madden, folks, who is the chair of the Civic Partnership, and Bob Skulsky, who is the director of a Civic Partnership. We come back, we'll talk a little bit more about how you can get involved, but it's a great opportunity for you if you want to just move ahead in your life. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us, folks. I'm Sam Lesante. You're watching The Sam Lesante Show. Remember, 24/7, all of our programs on ssptv.com. I'm talking to John Madden, who is the chair of the Civic Partnership application scholarship, and also Bob Skulsky, who is the director of Civic Partnership, talking about if you want to get involved enroll in a program, industrial maintenance, manufacturing, electronics, computer technology, industrial technology, medical technology, including nursing, for 1 or 2 programs, as well as certificate programs, and also either 4 years, engineering, production, information, nursing, etc. Now, the amount of money that they get when they apply for this, how much is it when,
It's
they apply?
$3,000 a year for each of 2 years. So if they meet the requirements, keep the point average up, they get $3,000 the first year, which goes to the college or the institution where they're attending, and we repeat that again the second year. And that's a big bite out of the tuition at a lot of institutions.
So if they apply to Penn State, Luzerne County, King's College,
Doesn't matter
Rose
where they
College,
go.
it has to be, doesn't matter where they go.
Has to be accredited, but we'll
Even out of the state?
Out of state's fine, so long as they come back here.
They have to come back here after
Yes.
they graduate, okay? Now, like any organization, excuse me, you have a committee, okay? Tell me about who's on the committee.
Yeah, we've had a very active committee since this program began, and we've got a group of people, and I really want to mention one in particular because she passed away this year. Jerry Shepperson, who's the former superintendent of the Hazleton Area School District, was one of our very active members, and unfortunately passed away this year. We'll miss her on the committee.
Great talent.
Great
person, great talent.
They keep us going, keep us honest, and they approve everything that we do, and we changed the application form criteria. That's subject to committee vote.
This applies to anybody, folks. It's anybody. Don't think you have to be in with a clique or anybody out there who wants to further themselves. It's a great opportunity. The number to call is 570-455-1509.
I should mention one thing: we don't get enough good applications. They're hard to get. This isn't just a Hazleton problem; it's a national problem. People don't line up for these technical programs, and there are great careers there for people, particularly people with less than a baccalaureate degree, but more than high school, have technical training. There are a lot of great careers that pay well. You can go anywhere in the world if you want to with these skills, but people just don't sign up for them. Their parents don't see it as a good career bet for them. Students don't prepare for it, and it's really a national issue. It's not just Hazleton.
What if I'm sorry, what if I'm in a program now? What if I'm in a...
You can apply.
So I'm in a nursing program now, or I'm in an electronic...
apply.
I could still apply.
You can.
So therefore, it could be a nice help for my my tuition.
Absolutely.
Even if I'm in there, okay? But once again, if I'm thinking of doing something, and I want to go into this technical thing and find out what areas, I think I would call you, Bob, first, and say, Bob, this is what I'd like to do. What do I have to apply for? What would I do before, I would go to? Then you could also give advice as to, I want to go into electronics, for example. What would you recommend? What school should I apply to? You have all these accredited schools. Would you be able to help me there?
Sure.
You could help me with the idea is once they apply and they get accepted, they have to maintain a 2.75 average.
That's right.
Okay, make sure, and then upon graduation, they must work in the greater Hazleton area, including Tobyhanna.
Right.
Okay.
We've had one person do that.
Yeah, so we can't go to Philadelphia or, okay, because you invested. So you're hoping that when they stay here for 3 years, it'll continue on.
That student had trouble finding something that lined up with his particular training also right in this area, so we made an allowance to go to Tobyhanna. That's why we did that. Yeah. But we only made one other exception. Otherwise, students have been able to find jobs here with the training that they had.
With $3,000 a year, if I'm in a certification program, or if I'm going to a 2-year college.
Or a 4-year college.
Or 4-year college,
yeah.
Yeah. So you'll help me out to at least $6,000 total, I think it's a great opportunity. I think there's a lot of people, sometimes people a little leery sometimes, you know, to call, but this is a great opportunity. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're in the program right now or if you want to further yourself, I highly recommend giving Bob Skulsky a call. He's a nice guy. He really is a nice guy. 570-455-1509. On another note, Bob, what we're trying to do, and we are continuing to do in the greater Hazleton, as you see, with a lot of great things happening in this downtown area with, you know, the Angelo brothers coming on with their investment. We bought this building, SSP, SAMS, and people who are the Alliance for Progress, as you know, okay, is a great opportunity for the community. What I was hoping is that people would become more positive as to what we're doing in the area. You know, I know we have some of our programs problems, but when you look at our problems here and look at other cities, you say, thank God we live in Hazleton. Hey, John, it's always nice to have you on the show.
Good to see you, Sam.
Okay, and how's the family doing, okay?
They're doing fine.
That's good. Bob, you doing all right?
We're doing
You're
okay.
getting younger looking, Bob, I'll tell you.
Oh, thank you.
You're getting younger looking.
I think it's the light.
It's a light. Remember, it's the Civic Partnership Program, folks. It's a great opportunity for you. Just call for information, 570-455-1509. Ask for Bob Skulsky. He'd be more than happy to give you the information. We'll see you next time.